Welcome back to the channel. I'm headed over to the body shop to pull the car out because it's going to be a nice warm day. Just pulled the 3D prints off the 3D printer. So I'm going to also go down the junkyard and test this flange out, and I'll test this one out on the car before I get it rolling and see if everything is good to go, if I have to change any dimensions. Bolted up the piece that I 3D printed and everything looks good. It bolted right up there. One thing I was thinking was I could do, this is a 45-degree angle. I could probably bring it a little bit further this way and then maybe like a 30-degree angle or something, just so it's a little less, and then I could just have a piece of tube come out. So the plan is just to have this tie in to this upper mount that's right here. So just come up, come to that, and then I'll have a piece to branch off to go to the diff mount and then that lower control arm mount that is right here. So I may just grab a piece of tubing so I could stick it in there and see how it's going to look once I go to the junkyard, because I have a few scraps over there, and then just kind of go from there. But yeah, what I want to do now is get that subframe in here. Charger outside now, and it is going to sit in the sun pretty much all day. So I need to go to the junkyard. I want to test that engine flange that I 3D printed, make sure the bolt holes are in the correct orientation. But yeah, while I'm over there, this thing can cure, heat that primer up, and then later on today pull it back inside, sand the roof rails, and start making the roof. So I'm really hoping I can get the roof pretty much in there, glued together. I've already pretty much mounted the front charger piece and the back Magnum piece. I really just need to panel bond those together and just kind of do a few things here and there. Now I'm over at the junkyard, just tried the engine plate or engine mount bracket that, or mount plate that I designed last night. Everything is good to go. All the bolt holes line up. And that is the reason why I bought that centerline caliper. So I'll throw a link in the description for one. The one that I have, I think it was like $500 or $800. They're pretty expensive. And then when you're using them, it has a number on the centerline caliper. So on mine, it's 10.16 millimeters that I have to add to whatever measurement, because it's telling you that that's the extra distance. So everything's good here. Now I could pretty much have these cut out of 1/4-inch steel. I could have the other thing. I'm probably gonna reprint it with maybe like a 30 or 15-degree bend or something like that, and then maybe extend it a little bit. But then I could have that thing cut and bent as well, and then we could just move forward. I need to design a few other things for the subframe, get all of that stuff laser cut, bent, and then we can start modifying and making this subframe coming up. I just want to have everything ready for once we're ready to build the subframe. I also need to start doing the same for the rear subframe, But yeah, let's go back over to the shop. Sat outside in the sun all day. Today it was decently warm, but the sun didn't seem like it was baking it as much as it did last time. So what I'm doing right now is I just ground down everything and I'm gonna weld these things in. These are the cross beams and they're off the 300C. So I need these for the roof since it's not gonna have a sunroof, and this one really doesn't matter, it's pretty flimsy, but this one up here is more of a safety thing just in case there's a rollover or anything like that. So I'm going to weld all these in. After I'm done welding them, I'll start fabricating the roof, which really I'm just gonna have to pretty much put the Charger skin on, put the Magnum skin on. I already sheet metal screwed them in the front and the back, and then just kind of go from there and then just continue to, I'll panel bond it. I have a couple tubes of panel bond, and I also, before I need to put the tape on here. Now the crossbars for the roof are completely welded in, so we are 100% ready to start masking this off and getting it ready to start making the roof. able to get as far as I could with the Charger today. The car rolls, I had it baking outside. Also, I was able to start the roof. So I got the Charger front half connected to the Magnum back half. And what I'm doing with the yellow tape is, if you guys saw in the video, this is actually coated in Pardal. So I'll put a link in the description. That is mold release. The resin-based epoxy can't actually adhere to it. So that is exactly what I want. I don't want to have to worry about this thing not popping off after I make the carbon fiber mold, because if that happened, we would be in a lot of trouble, because then I'd have to grind all of this Duraglass down and all the panel bond and all that stuff down, which would be pretty much a nightmare, and pretty much starting back at square one with this V, because I'd have to grind it down to metal and then recoat it with a bunch of coats of high build primer, and that's not what we want. So I'm really glad that it is in this stage. And what I did for the first coat of the Duraglass was actually just put it in, and you can see that it doesn't actually stick. See, when I rub it off, it still rubs off pretty nice, which is exactly what we want. It's not adhering to the tape. But what I did was I put a nice coat to just build that edge, so the next coat doesn't actually go past the tape. So I wanted to build a coat up, and tomorrow this will all be dry, and then it won't be able to push back behind the tape and then bond to the primer that's behind the tape. So really, this is really a preventative coat. The top was just to seal in all the holes and everything from cutting and grinding, and I just kind of spot welded a few spots along the roof, because this isn't going to be a permanent roof. It's just going to be used to make a mold. And when I make the mold, if you guys are unfamiliar with how molds are made, most of the time, a lot of people that I've seen on YouTube making carbon fiber roofs, they just literally lay the carbon fiber over the existing roof, and then you don't get all those detailed, like this V right here. I wouldn't actually get that, and then they just panel bond it on, which is not a very good way to do it. Also, the way I've seen most of the people do it on YouTube is they do a lot of layers, and then they just hand spread it. They don't actually vacuum bag it, which ends up making a very heavy carbon fiber part. I'm trying to keep this roof, I'd say, under 5 pounds. If this thing's around 5 pounds, I'll be happy. I think the stock piece of roof skin for the Magnum's like 10 pounds, maybe 25 pounds. I'll have to do a comparison and weigh them together, and then just kind of go from there. But I'm really glad we're at this stage, because it is, it's looking good. We're moving forward, and hopefully by, the end of the week, I could start making the mold of the roof and stuff like that. So I still have to prime it. I still have to put filler on it. Josh is going to help me block it out, and then I'll prime it and do a bunch of other coats until we get a finishing coat of, I might just use single stage, but I'm not exactly sure yet. I need to buff it out and everything, but we'll figure that out once we get there. It's a couple days away, or maybe a week away. I'm not exactly sure how fast I'm going to do this. I really want to see this roof in carbon fiber though first, and I want to see it done fast. So we'll figure that out, but I'm glad we are where we are. And if you like these videos, make sure to click the subscribe button, thumbs up, comment below. See you guys next time.